The next very important topic in R is conversion of data from one type to another. If you enter the data in R for the first time, R makes some guesses about the data. Suppose we have this vector called Asia, and in this vector we have one numeric element, then second one is the character element, and the third one is also a numeric element. Now if we have one character element in the vector, R is going to convert the entire vector into character. Let us see that practically in R to understand it. Suppose we have created this vector in the name regions, and the first element is numeric, the second one is character, and the third element is numeric. Let us run this function and let us see how the R makes guesses about the data. Regions. I'm going to run this regions. You can see over here that it has converted the entire data into a character. This time you can see that 9 is in the inverted commas, and it means that it is a character vector or the character element. Let us check the type of this vector through the function we have studied earlier, that is class. Class, and we're going to write the vector name, regions. If I run it, you can say that the class function is saying that it is a character vector. Now the next step is that if we want to convert data from one type to another, what are we going to do? The function that is used to convert one type of data into another is called age.character or age.numeric, or you can convert it into any type. Let us see that practically in R. Suppose we want to create a vector in the name marks, and we are going to create this vector through a function called sequence, and I give the sequence 25 to 100. I have created this vector. Now let us check the class of this vector. Marks. You can see that the class function is suggesting that this vector is an integer. Now if you want to convert this into a numeric, we will write marks dot n for numeric, and this time I'm going to write age dot numeric, and I'm going to write the vector name as well. Let us run it. Now if I check the class of this marks.n, you can say that it is saying that this is a numeric object. Suppose we want to convert this marks vector into a character vector. What we are going to do is that we will write marks.c, which represent a character vector. So I'm going to write age.character, and this time I'm going to give the name of that vector. If I run it, let us check the class of marks.c. If I run it, it is saying that it is a character vector. So this is the way we created a numeric object. Through this function age.numeric, we converted this vector into a numeric vector, and then through this function age.character, we converted the same vector into a character vector. So this is the way you can convert one type of data into another. In the last, I'm going to tell you one last important thing, that if you have a character element into a vector, or you have a character vector, it cannot be converted into numeric. And R will use the term NA. Usually R uses NA for missing values. Let us practically do it in R to understand it. Earlier we created a vector in the name regions that has one character element. Now let us run it. If you want to convert this region into a numeric, we will use regions, and for numeric we will use .n. This time I'm going to say is dot numeric, and I'm going to give the vector name. You can see it is giving me a warning message. N is introduced by coercion. Let us run this regions .n to see what happened. You can see that earlier the 9 and 10 were reported as characters, but this time this function has converted them into numeric. The 10 is also converted, but for the America, which is a character element, it has given us the NA. So R cannot convert a character element into numeric.